Welcome. This is the Drupal usability meeting for May 6th, 2022. I'm Benji Fisher, sharing my screen and moderating. Also on the call are Aaron McHale, Ben Mullins, Christina Chumias, Offer Schall, Ralph Kohler, and Thomas Howell. As usual, we have a good mix of front and back end designers, developers, we have designers, and don't think we have any beginners on the call. That sort of diversity is also helpful for usability discussions sometimes. And we're going to start with this issue. We talked about it at the end of the meeting 2 weeks ago. The issue number is 332796. That makes it a rather old issue. Wow, from 2008. And the issue title is Add Permissions to the Update module to Hide Warnings. So let's see if we have some screenshots here. I'm afraid not. So I think the point is that when updates are pending, there's a message that probably all of us on the call are familiar with, a warning or error message on the top of every single admin page saying that there are updates that should be installed. And maybe that's only when security updates are available. And currently, the notification is shown to all users with the permission administer site configuration. And there's another permission administer software updates, which is not used for that. And one problem with this is that the warning message is shown to users who don't have permission to do anything about it. So if I remember correctly from our discussion a few weeks ago, we talked about the possibility that there are some cases where even though they don't have permission to do something about it, those users can then tell someone who does have permission. But then there are also cases where many users might be seeing this notification without being able to do anything about it. So the proposal is to add a new permission and let the site administrator decide who's going to see the warnings and in the various situations to decide what's appropriate. So I guess most of the discussion has been resolved, and rather than rely on existing permissions, we will add a new permission, and we're down to questions about the name of the permission and whether we need additional description of it. Any questions before I look at the recent comments? Okay, so I think in this tab, I'm down at the bottom of the issue, and the recent comments are actually on the merge request. So let me open up that. See whether the discussion there is easier to follow. Scroll down to the bottom for recent discussions. And I guess view update notifications is more or less what we came to the last time we talked about it. And then there's the optional second line of description. So unfortunately, we don't have any screenshots showing this. Maybe I can quickly spin up a a site to look at the permissions page. But I guess this is the text we're talking about. View update notifications. As I said, we sort of agreed to that 2 weeks ago, and then we didn't have time to look at this longer description. View update notification messages that are displayed on most administrative pages when updates become available. Any comments on that wording?
Just a brief one, and more of a question. Is that title, view update notifications, and the description shown at the same time in the same place?
Yes, those would both show on the permissions page.
It's on the permissions page. Well, then maybe shorten the description by removing view update notifications, because it's just repeating the title again.
That's a good point. Could be view messages or view the messages that are displayed.
Or no, or just messages that are displayed on most administrative pages when updates become available. Would be even enough, in my humble opinion.
Okay, so you would just strike these cut 3 words at the beginning and start with the word messages.
Because the context is already set with view update notifications, and the description clarifies what is happening in that context.
So let's see, I'm just going to use the reply field here as a scratch pad. So that's the current text. And you're suggesting starting with messages. Oops. I would suggest a slight variation. Start with these, and then remove the word that.
Yeah, that's good.
Any other opinions? All right. I can leave a short comment on the issue, or maybe I'll put it on the merge request, since that's where the discussion seems to be. That we suggest this slightly shorter description and avoid repeating the words that have already been said. Okay. In that case, I'll stop sharing my screen. And Thomas, you mentioned that an issue that came up in the Bug Smash initiative? Would you like to give us a link to that and share your screen?
Ralph, it was.
Oh, sorry, right.
But yes, no problem. No problem.
All right, I'm a little distracted because I'm actually multitasking. I'm currently getting a screenshot of the participants list so that I can make sure to give issue credit when I update the issue.
No worries, no worries. Okay, Shall I start?
Yes.
Okay,
Please.
the issue number is number 2546116. Title is "You can add a review, opinion, greeting, etc. comment type, but not change the add new comment text." It's basically that add new comment line is impossible to change. In the current state without the patch, you have, that's the wrong one, the comment type, which is looking that way currently. And then on the article content type, in my case, you have the comment field looking that way. And you're only able to change the label, which is then reflected in the front end on comments in that regard. Good. I've applied the patch. Oh, and one detail up front before applying the patch, there is Olivero, which has a bit of a different layout. Again, my very first article, then gets comments with the comment entry form, and then you get to the already existing comments. And for example, the add new comment line is completely missing already there. That is something that confused me when applying the patch. And per default, I've only used Claro and Olivero, and therefore thought at the beginning that the patch did confusing things. Point is, if you go into the comment type, the patch is adding that field. I've just used add new comment as the line as the title, and in the content type, nothing changes. I've used there your thoughts as label, and which is leading, if you use Olivero, oops, I get your thoughts and add new comment in my part here. And in contrast, your thoughts, again, add new comment is missing. And yeah, that's it. I have already wrote up a comment in the issue, but also said I would, I would bring up the issue in the UX meeting to get more opinions about it. My problem with it is, on one hand, at first, when I've applied a patch, I've searched in the comment field, in the content type, looking for the field, where is it applied? I considered it quite confusing to get it in the comment type itself. Second problem is the title or the label of the new field, form heading, is quite abstract in my humble opinion. That might use some rephrasing or rewording. And the last point is about, yeah, in that case, Olivero, that the new line is completely missing. Mike has already commented in the issue. Yeah, it looks like we changed that around in our field /comment.html.twig. I would be fine going back to the default, but we should talk to the UX group about it and then maybe put together a design for a small add new comment jump link that appears by default. Hopefully this answer all the Olivero related questions. Let me know if it doesn't. Yeah, that would it be from my end.
Ralph, can you show us the issue since you're sharing your screen?
Yep, I could.
And I think, yeah, there's the comment you were just talking about at the bottom from Mike Herschel. And also, I had a quick look at the top of this issue. Someone put a lot of effort into showing some screenshots. So I guess there's the usability issue of whether we need an additional description on the admin page. And then there are some design issues that Mike brings up in that comment at the bottom. So shall we talk about the admin page first? And I think some additional description is needed. I think form heading is okay as a label, but it should have some description. Any other opinions on that? If anyone is offering an opinion, you're muted. Go ahead, Aaron.
Thanks. I think my mic is working now. So yeah, I think form heading, I can kind of see what Ralph was saying. It's maybe a little abstract with just form heading. It's probably fine as, I think it's okay as a title. Like I part of me wants to say, oh, it should be like comment form heading so that it's clear exactly what form it's referring to, but then you're also on the comment type screen. So I don't know if that's already implied. Maybe it's better to be explicit. Then again, maybe what's in the text field itself, like add new comment in this case, maybe that's enough to identify what the purpose of it is. Some description text, if not some description text, yeah, might be useful.
Yeah, so Ralph, if you can go back to the admin screen. I think Aaron and I are saying the same thing, that that we can leave form heading as is for the label, but we should add a description beneath it.
Yep.
And I guess before we decide what that description should be, we need to be sure what happens if this is left blank. And it sounds as though currently it depends on the theme, and Olivero is different from Bartik. So before this patch, Olivero didn't have any heading at all, but with the patch,
It still doesn't have.
Oh,
The heading of the add new comment doesn't exist for Olivero. It's only in 7.
it's only in 7 is the backend theme.
No, sorry, in Bartik, sorry.
In Bartik, okay. So now that Olivero is officially the front-end theme for Drupal 9.4, maybe this issue should be postponed on something based on Mike Herschel's comment, but that's not our job to worry about. The issue management we can leave to the people working on the issue. So let's assume that Olivero will support a form heading and just decide on some text. I think a short description will be enough. Something like, this text will appear at the top of the add comment form. Does that sound okay?
Or could it be just on top of the add comment form?
can you slide that over a little bit?
Oh, sorry.
Put something in the chat as well. I was trying to find a way to avoid using directional words.
Mm-hmm.
So like heading text used to describe the comment form.
So Ralph, please slide that to the right. What I want to do is see the existing description for the description field. Okay, that does it. And I'd like to be consistent with that. So, and that's why I started with this text will appear. So maybe instead of will appear, to be consistent, let's say this text will be displayed. And I think Aaron is right. I shouldn't say at the top of.
How about will be displayed as the heading on the comment form?
On the comment form or of the comment form?
I don't know.
I'm happy with either one.
Yeah, I don't really know. I wouldn't really know what which one would be better in this case. Maybe of, because we're like I don't know the proper terms, but like it's describing, it's the text that refers to the form, describes what the form is. So it belongs to the form.
Yeah, I think I prefer of, but not a
Yeah.
strong preference. Yeah, I think that's enough.
And leave the title form heading, or like Aaron suggested, something like new comment form heading, maybe something in that regard, in that direction, to make it a bit more explicit.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just thinking because there's a bit of ambiguity in a sense of like, here you're configuring the comment type, so form could mean something. It could be ambiguous in this case. Is it the form of the comment type, or is it like, well, I guess with the description though, we've kind of covered that though.
Yeah, but the point is, if you just scan the page, you usually don't read the descriptions and just read the titles.
Yeah.
And that's exactly my problem, because if you have you set the title of the new comment form title on the comment type, while you set the title of the actual comment type for the comment type in the comment field on the article content type, and that that disconnect between the two, it would be easier to comprehend if they are both on the same form. Yeah. Meaning that the field is maybe, I mentioned it in my comment on the issue if it would be possible to place that field in the comment in that form on there, that you have both on one page and not that disconnected. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm finding it a little hard to follow what 2 pages you're comparing, because you're scrolled to the middle of
sorry.
both pages.
That one is the comment. That one is the comment type, the default one, and that one is the article content type, manage fields for the comment field. And there I have set the name your thoughts instead of comments. And in the form heading here, I have the add new comment. And those are on 2 different pages. But basically, in the end, they're both, it's basically, let's put it that way. Your thoughts is, my screen is too small, sorry. You have basically your thoughts, that's the title here in the manage fields in article for the comment field is your thoughts, you see here, and you have the add new comment, which is basically on the comment type, and that disconnect.
I see.
It's
Your
confusing.
I think I agree.
But I'm not sure if it's technically possible to move that field over.
Could you bring the proposed description text back up for a second?
Yep.
Sorry.
Where it is? Yeah, here.
Any
it is.
windows to juggle. Yeah, I just was wondering if the description text would still be applicable regardless of what screen you see it on, and I think it would.
Yeah.
See, okay, this is one of those Drupal things where like there's sometimes not a clear place something should go, because yeah, I think everything to do with like the comment itself should be contained in the comment type, like the actual comment fields. But then well, technically the form heading is part of the form, and so are the fields. But then the comment field itself, which displays the comments, is what's rendering the form. My head hurts. That's a tough one. Yeah.
So most of the time, people don't customize this much. They certainly don't have multiple comment types. At least I don't think I've ever seen a site that had multiple comment types. It's an option. You can have multiple types, but I've just never seen it. So then I guess the question is, if you're going to be changing the label, just as Ralph's example of using your thoughts rather than comments, it makes sense that you'd also want to customize the form, and instead of saying add new comments, said give us your thoughts or share your thoughts. So it's currently possible to do that by, with the current patch, you'd add a separate comment type and change the form heading to match the label. So that's sort of a low bar. It's possible to do. So the higher bar is, can we make it convenient and natural to do? And for that, I think it would be really nice if we could keep them together. So I think Ralph has a really good point. that if it's technically possible, I would rather have the form heading configurable on the field along with the display label.
I agree.
And should the title form heading remain or also be adjusted depending in any way, or should it, in case the field could be moved over, it should remain, or should it be changed if it should stay where it is at the moment in the current state of the patch?
So let's see, if we're thinking of moving it to the field settings, can you go to that window? The current settings are just label and help text. Is there anything else there?
Comments per page and preview comment and default value.
So quite a few actually. Whether or not to use threading. Okay, so assuming that we keep all the text areas at the top of the page, label, help text, form heading. I think form heading is still okay. And the suggested description that we came up with, I think would also be fine.
Yeah, I think also because the text that's in the text box, like by default would be add new comment, provides that additional context along with the description as to where this is going to be displayed. And even if you've changed it to something else, chances are like, you know what you're looking for, or at least you might, I mean, someone else might have changed it. You might not know what you're looking for, but you probably can see what it's presenting on the page. So you think, oh, I want to change this text. Maybe there's a setting in here that has that text.
Yeah, okay. That's great. Okay, so to sum this up, basically, I write a comment that we've reviewed the issue and we suggest the following description. Add the point with, if technically possible, form heading configurable on the field along with the display label, and that the title should remain as is, because placeholder text provides enough context in combination with the description and the title. And we add also the recommendation to revisit, especially Olivero, because the form heading is missing there, and also in regards of the order, what Mike already confirmed, that they did something different, but could revert to the default state.
You know, I just thought whether or not Olivero fixes that, we're not always dealing with core themes. Oh, I'm sorry about that very loud ringing. Get to a place where I'm far from any of my phones. So a lot of sites will use a custom theme, and the custom theme may or may not pay attention to this setting. So, so maybe in the description text, we should add something. if the theme supports it.
That way?
Supports an S on the end.
Oh, so okay. Yeah.
I would put a comma after form.
Okay.
Do we need to say something about like the active theme or current theme, or I mean, just so it's like, or the front end theme? I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking aloud here.
How do we refer to the theme on the appearance page? I don't think we talk about front end and back end themes, do we? We have an
No.
admin theme and we have is it active theme?
Default
Yeah, I
theme.
think
Default theme it is. Yeah, default.
Yeah, so let's use the same term that the appearance page uses, the default theme.
But there's a chance that, albeit slim chance, if you go out of your way enough to do this, that you could be using a different theme. Like it could be maybe we should just say theme, because like there's scenarios where a site might have multiple themes in use, and so maybe default could, like if we try to be too specific about which theme unnecessarily, could cause some confusion or misrepresent it.
Is there still a contrib module that lets you switch the default, switch the theme?
Yeah, I think theme key still works. You could even just be using the admin theme for a piece of content, theoretically. So,
okay. Should we say active or just theme?
I would just go with theme. I'm just going to back out of this tangent.
That works for me.
Yeah. Okay.
And as long as we put in that caveat, we don't have to worry about whether all of arrow changes or not.
Yeah,
Right.
but I think the default theme in Drupal should support it as a standard theme, in my humble opinion. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm just worrying about the dependency between the two issues.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy with that text. So Ralph, if you'll post a comment to that issue.
Yeah, I will. I'll post the points I've written in the text edited window you see right now, and make the comment about Olivero also as well, that they could deal with that in a separate issue.
Okay.
But it should be definitely fixed, in my humble opinion.
I agree.
Okay, then I stop here.
Okay. And we have 15 minutes left. We don't have to stay on the call for 15 minutes unless there's something else someone would like to bring up.
I have two issues that have been kind of in the queue for the need looked at. I'm trying to decide one of them. I'll probably go with one that's hopefully the simpler issue, and then leave the other one that's a bit more involved till the next meeting.
Sounds good.
Bear with me just a second till I get set up, because I wasn't I was going to present the other one, but I just need to open a couple. I have a site up here. I just want to open a couple of screens to demonstrate this.
I think, by the way, that the alpha version for Drupal 9.4 is supposed to be released this week. I haven't checked. Maybe it was already released earlier today.
I saw something about do we have a Drupal 9.5 as well? I've been
We
out
have
of
a
the loop
branch.
the last couple of weeks. We have a
For a
branch.
week or
Okay,
so.
I'll have to check that out. Okay, let me share my screen. So this is the issue. Let me close some other tabs. Okay, so the number is 1524438. Redirect user/edit page to user/view on submit. So this was brought up by Quiet One, I think, and it's came from Bugsmash. I chatted to her briefly in Slack about it, but it's essentially that upon saving the user edit page, users are confused that their changes may not be submitted. This is because they see the password confirmation field again, and some fields may be pre-filled by the browser. So you can see an example of this actually. If I go to admin edit, I'm just gonna have to put the password here, and I hit save. I'm taken back here. I get a confirmation message. So the idea is that you would be redirected back to view when you submit. Now, my thought was that if we, not structure, for more or less every other content entity, we do this anyway. So in the interest of consistency, we should be redirecting back to the view page. So I'm just going to quickly create a test node here to demonstrate. So if I come in here to the edit screen, I'm going to add, this is the test, and save, and you go to the view screen. So we basically address the issue of the user then coming in here, say they put their password in, they change their email address, and maybe their username or the password, and they hit save. And instead of being directed here, they would get the confirmation message, but they would come back to the view screen here. So it was really just to validate with other people, because I thought that was a good idea for consistency with other content entities, but it was just to kind of thought I'd bring it up and just validate that this is a sensible approach. So hopefully this is one we can knock out in the next 10 minutes. And if nobody has any thoughts and everybody's happy, then that's also fine, but happy to take any thoughts.
I'm not sure. To be honest, it's, from my personal view, I consider it quite annoying to be redirected to the view each time. Because if I'm in the edit mode, air quotes, I want to stay there in the admin interface. And for example, it's even worse, in my humble opinion, in the context of content. If I add something and click save to be safe that my changes aren't lost, and then I get redirected to the views page, and then I want to go on, basically, then I have to go back again. And that's similar in every context. If I'm operating in the admin menu, I want to stay there.
Right. So I wonder if I'm going to try clicking the edit button here. And what it does is it appends the destination parameter. So in theory, if I do this again, put the password in, see, now this is getting longer and longer. I'm going to hit save. It should take me back to the people screen, which it does. And so that behavior would stay the same. I guess it would be, yeah, so and I think that's the same for content. Like if I come here and I hit edit, yeah, so it appends the destination parameter to take you back to the admin content screen on save. So I'm not sure if, does that sort of answer or address your concern?
So your point, Aaron, is that if you start on a listing page, whether it be the content listing or the user listing, the edit links there all add a destination parameter so that you, when you submit the form, you come back to the listing page.
Yeah.
And I think several months ago, we had a similar question about taxonomy pages where we added I think a second submit button so that the user can choose where to go. Ralph, did you want to reply to Aaron's point?
It not entirely solves my point, but I considered it better to go back to the list view instead of the view page of the individual entity. But it's difficult.
So it seems to me that the current behavior for nodes, for content, is not the subject of this issue, and that's we're not going to change that here. Furthermore, I can see your point about having a complicated node and some long text that you're typing and wanting to save and then continue editing. That seems like less of a realistic scenario when editing a user account. That you're, well, I guess it's possible that you could have long text fields on the user account, but it's just not the usual use case. That, you know, the only things typically you're editing on a user account are passwords and email addresses and some of these select lists and checkboxes and such. Like, do you or don't you want to enable your contact form? So I don't think that that very often I'm going to be editing a user account and want to save my work and continue editing.
True. But then instead of forwarding to the view page, forward to the list, the accounts list page might be a good compromise, in my humble opinion.
See, I guess though, like that requires the user to have access to that page, which the chances are a regular user is not going to have that access. So the other thing is, like, to go back to my original point, was about consistency. So like this is issues specifically about, it's partly about the fact that users get confused when they hit save and they come back here and they see this current password field right at the top, which we've actually also looked at an issue about moving that. I'm not sure what's happened with that issue, but that really should be, I don't know, I can't remember what the outcome was, but like, you know, there's an element of being consistent with the way we do things across other parts of the site. So if, you know, on node or block or menu, whatever content entity we happen to be looking at, there should be a level of consistency about what happens when you, like what the default behavior is when you click the save button, I guess. So that's what I'm thinking is, like, if we just make it redirect by default, go back to view, at least then user is consistent with other content entities, and also if we inadvertently solve that problem of the user not immediately seeing the password field again.
True. Oh. Well, but let's say you have an admin user who has to edit several accounts of users, for example.
Mhm.
In that case,
Individually.
you'd probably be starting from the listing page.
Yeah.
And then you get the destination parameter.
So if you're an admin user, chances are you're going to be going back to the people page. So you could effectively do that, come in, edit one user, you'd end up back here, go and edit the next user, you'd end up back here.
Yeah, but when you edit it and save, you get forwarded at the first to the view page with a new pattern and a proposed pattern.
No, you would still go back to the admin people because the destination parameter up here in the URL. So this would only be, this is why I said default earlier, because like this basically overrides where you're going to go when you hit save. Like if I just to demonstrate that again, if I put the password and then I'm going to put another dot and 2 here.
No, you are allowed to undo changes in this sort of demo.
No, okay,
Yeah.
I've understood. Okay, then then it's fine with me. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
but I've misunderstood then. Okay.
Yeah, and then if you're a regular user and you come to edit your profile, you don't, presumably you also don't get the admin theme, but you don't have a destination parameter. So then you I'm just doing it for the fun of it now. You hit save and then you would, instead of coming here, you would see the status message but on the view page.
Okay. Then it was all good. Yeah, then I agree.
Okay, I think we have consensus. Ben, Offer, do you want to speak up or give a +1 in the chat?
Oh, Offer, yeah.
Offer gives us a +1.
Okay, excellent.
And Ben also gives a +1. So it's unanimous. Christina and Thomas had to drop off earlier.
Okay, well, I'll just note on the issue that we looked at this and everybody is in agreement that this is making this change is a good thing. So.
Great, thank you.
I will save the other. I thought this was going to be I actually wonder now if the other issue was the less complicated one to look at, but I'll save that for next time.
Great, we'll have something to talk about next week. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks all for coming. Hope you can make it next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend, everyone.
You too.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Offer.